Welcome to the first episode of What Gets Your Goat. I am your host, Vincent Crowley, and I have special guest Rhevok from the band and channel MORDANT RHED and Eddie from the Realms of Metal channel. How you guys doing today?
Wonderful.
Good, man.
I'm
Okay,
alive.
this is basically a new show I'm doing, and it's kind of like a entertaining rage room. Uh, let out your aggression, let out the shit that annoys you, and stuff out there in the world. It doesn't have to be any certain topics. We can pick anything that we find irritating to us. Um, and I warn everybody right now, if you're not into having good fun and you can't take a joke, shut this off now because we are not going to cater to your little pansy ways. So let us begin.
Fuck these pussies.
So my first topic I want to bring up is selective freedom of speech in the US of A. Do you guys agree that there truly is no freedom of speech anymore?
Well, yeah, there's freedom of speech as long as you agree with the status quo. But if you have any different thoughts, you're fucking evil and cut off, and you have no voice.
Exactly.
Completely agree.
You know, we talked before the show. YouTube has a certain set of rules. You can't talk about certain things. You can't say certain words, which some of the words I don't understand how you can't say when they're needed in documentaries and shit like that. It's some kind of trigger for them, and they will actually take it off the channel. So, we're gonna do our best not to get kicked off here and have an entertaining discussion. So, as I mentioned, YouTube. We also have like the social media. You have Facebook, Instagram. What's the other shit that's out there? I fucking hate them all, but it's
Yeah.
X now. I guess X is actually trying to bring back the freedom of speech, and of course, people are protesting freedom of speech, which is absolutely asinine. So, what are your thoughts on like social media and formats like YouTube doing this type of censorship, even though their excuse is, well, we're an independent company, not a government establishment, and don't have to follow these type of rules?
Well, I mean, it's right. It is their entity. They control it, so they do have that right. But however, you want to truly go by freedom of speech, everybody should have that forum open. I mean, talking about most fucked up shit if they want to. I mean, do I agree with everything? Some people talk about some fucked up, nasty shit that I would not ever think any kids or anybody should be hearing. However, I feel you want to talk about fucked up shit, you should be able to do it. I mean, it's freedom of speech, and just like the same thing. If I see a YouTube channel of some motherfucker that's making me sick and talking about shit that makes me angry, you know what I do? I just turn off the channel and go to the next one. It's just like that. Like people, I'm sure both you can relate in the comments. People put smart ass shit in there. I just laugh at it. But I mean, just why do people care about stuff like that? Why are they? I think people these days are too worried about other people instead of taking care of their own fucking life. They're more worried about living in this fucking fake ass online life, and they don't worry about themselves. That's the way I look at it. It's a bunch of fucking weak minded fucking pussies around here.
It's keyboard warriors are what they are. I mean, they definitely wouldn't say it face to face if they were with you. But typing it on a keyboard is much easier for those fuckers to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's. I'm sorry,
I
go on.
think I think the you hit the nail on the head. It's like they feel like they're protected. They feel like, well, I can say this shit and I'll get my 10 seconds of fame from some other people liking my comment and shit like that. And I always thought why are you watching these things or fucking reading these things? Go on a fucking channel or a post that you're interested in and support or like. It's like it's a bunch of wasted time to me.
Yeah, people who post comments like that are they either do it out of jealousy because they're jealous of what you're doing, or they do it because they want to one up you, like they know everything, you don't know
Yeah,
anything. That's what it is.
yeah, that's absolutely correct. And also, too, one thing I've always come to the conclusion that you know, they try to portray that people try to do the best for mankind and whatever. Honestly, I think all fucking humans are inherently evil. They really are. Because if you think about it, anything that's fucking negative, or whether it's a YouTube channel or something, a documentary or a news article, if it's something negative about something bad, they're going to click on it versus hearing about the feel good stories,
Yeah.
and like, and one day it kind of resonated with me. Where I felt like a fucking piece of shit. Where every time you hear from somebody, hey, here's so and so, it's some bad news, and you kind of get excited. Oh, what the fuck happened? Is the motherfucker dead? I'm like, wait, why am I getting excited about that? And I think everybody has that, and some people that it like for me, I feel like shit when I start thinking stuff like that. But I know people like to hear that. They love to hear about other people's misery to
Yeah.
make them feel better about themselves. And I think that goes back to just that weak mindset of people that can't think for themselves.
And it's just like rubbernecking on the highway when the fucking accident's
Yes.
on the other
Yeah.
side of the goddamn highway, and then your
Yes.
side is going down to like 40 miles an hour. Like, what the fuck? And the accident is over there. It's like,
Yeah.
I, I,
Yes. That is.
I think in the 80s, they really harped on that too. Cause I mean, what got success? You had people like Jerry Springer, you had like all these sensational shows that focused on,
Morton Downey Jr.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. It was, it was like, let's bring up all the shit and everyone ate it up. I mean, and then even like Howard Stern was the raunchy DJ, but he also would bring all this drama into his show and like, this person supposedly did that, and it's like people just fucking ate it up, and
Mm-hmm.
it just slowly got worse and worse and worse. Where now they just pick a certain ideology and go with it and go, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, there's no in between, and if you don't agree, tough shit. It's like,
Yeah.
you watch the news, you watch anything except for Fox, it's pretty much liberal, left wing. Fox is more obviously right wing. There's no news channels even that just give you the fucking news, and it's like we need to bring that to the front, because no one wants to fucking have anybody give you news or information that's, catering to a certain fucking side or something.
right.
Yeah. I mean, that is true. And it also it goes back to the fact that the people that are in charge, government, whatever, they know the average fucking person's a fucking idiot that just follows, whatever they see on the TV, they're gonna believe, and they always put these fake narratives. And this is where it comes back. You think about back in the early days of television and whatnot, everything was meant to be wholesome. They had certain standards. There couldn't be any killing and certain cuss words, any sexual stuff. And this seems kind of fucked up because I like all that nasty shit. But when it comes to mainstream media and TV, I really feel that those terms should still. I'm kind of contradicting myself talking about freedom of speech,
Mm-hmm.
but you know that kind of shit on mainstream media shouldn't be on there because there's so many fucking idiots that just believe all that crap. Like underground stuff, horror movies, people speaking their word on other platforms. I agree that should be on there. Like
Mm-hmm.
like GGL, and I love that shit. But should that be on the radio for a 9-year-old kid to hear? No,
Right.
but it still needs to have freedom. You see, I'm kind of contradicting myself, but also I'm going back to the fact that people are fucking morons and they'll believe anything. And if they see, some rap shit of people slapping around their hoes and, hookers, well, again, I like to talk about that shit too, but I'm not on the mainstream TV. So that's
Right.
fine. So I don't know. It just gives a wrong interpretation of people, and that's what I think what's wrong with this fucked up world. That's why I fucking hate people just in general.
And if you have kids, parents need to parent. Like my daughter,
Yeah.
she's 15. She's not allowed on social media. Like we make sure we watch what she's doing and watch who she's talking to. You never know who's on the fucking chat platforms, you know. So my wife and I watch it really closely, and you know we keep her in check. We kind of know what she's watching. That's what you should be doing as a parent if you have
Yeah.
kids.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
absolutely.
I think with with age, you kind of look back at stuff and maybe things you disagreed on, you go, well, I can kind of understand some things to a point. I don't think anyone should be have their rights taken away to create a movie, to create a song or an album or artwork. But should there, like remember Tipper Gore and the Washington
Yeah.
Wives? You know, when you look back, I remember being pissed off, going, "Man, who are they to try to, put shit on our albums?" And then when I put out an album and that got on it, I was like, "That's good. I don't want to be
The,
considered like,
the
and
badge of honor.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's I can understand having a rating system, not a banning system, but a rating system for
Yeah.
certain music. Because, for the most part, like if I see a movie, if I see PG-13, I'm probably not going to fucking watch it. I mean, it has
Yeah.
to be really drag me in. It has to be at least fucking R to kind of get me to want to watch it. Um, Kids, you have a small child, when they're 18, they can watch whatever the hell they want, but you
Yeah.
have to show some sort of guidance. And if you do let them listen to something, you be the parent and you talk to them about the lyrics, or if they have questions, and watch what actually is going inside their fucking heads.
Yeah, it's true. But I think that's probably why I'm so fucked up because my parents didn't, they let me watch anything. They fucking took me to the theater and watched Cheech and Chong's next movie at the theater when it came out, and drugs and nudity. And we saw Scarface and, you know, Conan at the drive in. And I mean, but then again, I guess it desensitized me and realized, what's right and what's wrong. But then again, I don't know what the fuck is wrong and right. Everything I live my life, I probably still fuck up every day. So, you know,
Yeah.
and then as far as music too, how I got into this shit, it was my dad. He was buying all that shit back then, early 80s, Bark at the Moon and Black Sabbath before that. And he bought Motley Crue. And while mom would be trying to take us to church, my dad would be playing Shout at the Devil and say, nah, man, you just sit here and worship this shit. He was joking, but it was just created that warped sense of humor.
Well, it's like and rating systems for things doesn't mean kids are not going to get in their hands, because
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us, we got a hold of all that stuff. I watched movies. I got a hold of movies that were definitely not accessible, and that's just like a coming of age things for kids. You
Yeah.
check out those forbidden things and stuff like that. But the whole thing is, I think nowadays, I mean, I see shit on TV shows that I'm like, damn, if I had a small kid right now, I would not be fucking feeling comfortable with them sitting in the same room,
Yeah.
watching the shit. And again, I'm not saying they should change it or anything like that, or, have those warnings on the appropriate ones, not have those sporadic, stupid warnings that like marijuana smoking in this. I mean, it's
Yeah.
we all know what are for the grown-ups and what aren't for the grown-ups, and I think it becomes almost comical the way they supposedly uh rate their stuff nowadays.
Yeah, when we were
Actually,
teenagers, man, we anything that had that parental advisory sticker was pretty much an automatic buy. You guys know that, right? I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. What's funny though, if you look at, I was at somebody's house, they had the Disney Channel, and they have some movies you click on, and they have those warnings up there, and one of them said contains outdated ideas or some shit like that. It was on Peter Pan. I was like, what the fuck? Outdated. I think it was because they were referring to the Indians on there as Indians instead of Native Americans or some stupid shit like that. So to me, that's just fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it, my, I guess to sum it all up, it's just I think everyone should have the right to say and create what they want. Um, if you're gonna do something fucking totally crazy, like you mentioned, like a GG Allen or shit like that, I don't expect them to get airplay on the fucking radio, and I'm sure the audience will be selective. If you're an
Mhm.
artist and want to take a fucking shit on the Bible and that's your artistic thing, more power to you. But it's up to the person looking at it to judge if it's art or not. And I I think that's the main thing. Let people make their own choices in life. You know,
Yeah.
put out a buffet and pick what you want. And if you don't want it, just pass it up instead of fucking trying to ban it.
Yeah. It just cracks you up because people just believe or just so fucking gullible and buying into shit. Like, I'm not into politics or nothing. I fucking hate all those cocksuckers. But one time somebody, it was during the Hillary Clinton Trump uh, showdown for their presidency, and some guy was telling me like he was really scared, like if Trump gets in there, he's gonna deport all Mexicans back to all of us. And I was like, are you fucking stupid? That's you see, that's like bullshit propaganda that people are believing, and I was flabbergasted that you would believe something like that.
Yeah, it's
I mean, that in a nutshell right there just tells me how fucking stupid people are in general to believe stuff, you know, with what's on the TV, what's on the internet. You don't believe that shit anymore. The
That's one
old
of the things
days.
that irritates the shit out of me is these people who just believe whatever they see on the TV, just
Yeah.
and I run into those people all the time, just people can't think for themselves these days. I mean, they really uh, it's irritating as hell.
yeah. I mean, my grandmother told me when I was a kid, she was like, because some news, would come on and you'd be like, is that really happening? And she'd always say, take that with a grain of salt because whatever you see on TV is partial reality, partial fucking hype. And I will remember that till the day I die. And it made a lot of sense. And it just increased on being insanity later on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I guess to round this part of the discussion up, I think we all agree freedom of speech should be supported and brought back because it definitely is not in the US of A, which is supposed to be part of our rights. And uh, too many people are just submitting and laying down, and they don't want to. They'd rather go after somebody that makes a off joke about something or votes for somebody that they don't like or whatever than actually go at the necessary topics we should be really discussing.
Yeah. I think the general consensus people are getting tired of that shit and people need to stop bowing down. Again, I fucking don't give a shit about mainstream bullshit, but I did see something a while back about that UFC with that Dana White, which that's all a bunch of fucking bullshit. But I guess he had posted on his one of his social media a picture of him and Trump. Again, here I get getting political. I'm not, but this is just an example. He
Mm.
posted that picture, and then one of his their advertisers or something, a big supporter said, "Hey, you need to take that down. We're going to pull our ad or support whatever funding for you." And he said, "Told them to go fuck themselves," which I don't like that guy, but I'm glad he did that because more people need to do that shit.
I mean, what's the big deal if you know I can look at someone that posts something, and again, I'm like you. I don't trust fucking politics. I've never voted in my fucking life. I always find some kind of problem with whoever's running.
Yeah,
But if someone posts, say, a Trump picture and another person posts a Biden picture, I don't give a fuck. I'm not probably even
yeah,
going to really look at the damn post. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people put so much energy into the fucking like what you like. That's like I like cornflakes. Well, I like eggs and bacon. Well, that's your fucking privilege to fucking eat whatever the fuck you want. I don't need to fucking have the same fucking meal as you.
Yeah.
And it just seems like everyone has this herd mentality, and it went from like we've talked about before about like how punk was, you know, leaned left in a lot of ways, but it was like questioning the government a lot, and that changed. And it seems like now with bands like that and people, they they want to have their freedom taken away. They want to be spoon fed, and they want the government to tell them what to do.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Fucking pure insanity. Anybody that thinks that the government's here to help you, you're a fucking moron. They don't give a shit about you.
They
They're
are
just worried
not
about
your
their
friend.
power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also goes back to that thing I mentioned earlier about people being inherently evil. They try to make everybody get along, erase the hate, as they say. I don't give a shit what it is. People are always going to hate each other. It may not be racial, but it may be just ideological or just religious. People always look for another reason to hate other people. Just like these people that are left wing that are just like foaming at the mouth, calling people Nazis, and it's just another version of hating people. Just I want to hate somebody and feel good about myself for hating them. That's the way I look at it. It doesn't matter, even if this country was all filled with orange people from Mars and they were all the same, they would still be fighting and hating each other for something. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's always going to be there, no matter what.
And that's what always kills me about, and there's supremacists for every race. I don't care what they say. And my observation is there is no unity between human beings for just their color of skin. Because take away, say you're white, and you take away everybody of color, you are going to, like you said, oh, he's not my religion, or he doesn't like football, or he doesn't like metal, or and then you go from that to you could get like someone like totally into shit like you're into, and then you got that one thing that's like, oh, you like that fucking TV show, you're a fucking idiot. And
Yeah.
it's always something. I mean, how many friends do you have that you still get in like, not arguments, but kind of jousting matches about shit, and you can get pissed off, and that's just in our fucking DNA. We are
Yeah.
just fucking pieces of shit in real life. We really are.
I mean, it is. It is. There's also another. You talk about with friends and arguing and people getting in fights and shit. That's why I have. I in the past have had huge groups of friends, man, parties and fucking. At my house we used to have bands in the old days play at the house and fucking 30, 40 people crammed in there. It's narrowed down to there's like probably 8 people that I still talk to on a regular basis and we've known each other for 30 some odd years. And it just stays that way because there's just so many other fucking weird ass people that take things too serious and start crying about shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, my mindset is like a Sam Kinison comedy show. That's how I look at life. Say things funny, it's kind of controversial, it's fucked up, and just laugh about it. Don't take it too serious.
Yeah. Well, this could be another topic, and it's like that's annoying, people that take themselves too seriously. And um I feel like, at one point in my life I thought I did. It's like, when you get so consumed in something and you just focus on that and you don't want to hear anything outside your box, that's fucked up. And
Yeah.
you think that you have all the answers. And I think a lot of people when they're younger, they think they know the answers to all their questions, and then you gain a little bit of experience and learn about people more, and you evolve. But I mean, I still see to this day, especially, seeing the metal scene, there are some motherfuckers out there that I've known for fucking decades, and they're still trying to be the fucking know it all, fucking hard ass, fucking. It's that to me is fucking gets annoying.
Yep,
I run into those people all the time. Like it just, especially when you're talking about metal, with some people, no matter what you've done or what record you bought or what band you're into, they've always done it before you and better than you. It's just, what's the
I know. You
point?
see,
What's
that
the
is
point?
very annoying. You see, I like to have conversations with people, not just hear someone brag about themselves the whole time and outdo you no matter what you say. I'm like, I am interested to hear what the person says, but if it's just all about them, I'm like, all right, I will just walk away and go somewhere else. And
Yeah.
again, that's why my friend circle is not as big as it used to be, because I just don't want to listen to people's shit. I'm sure everybody can agree that at this point in your life, I don't have time to listen to somebody crying about shit and whatever.
Certain people just need to be surrounded by drama at all times. And we all
Yeah.
know these people. Like,
Yeah.
it's like fuel for their lives to be surrounded by drama, and they want to drag you into their drama. And you're like, you know what? I'm too old for this shit. I don't want anything to do with it. And those people I pretty much cut out.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
it's definitely being selective now. I am the same way. You know, I've known so many people throughout the years, but I could probably count on fucking two hands people I actually stay in contact with, and I can count on one hand the people I'm close to and actually uh can trust and feel like I can have open discussions with. And I tell you what, a lot of them too are people in recent years because it's uh you know, people tend to just be fucked up. And
Yeah.
it's
Misery loves company.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, reason I wanted to have you two on because beyond the channels and us kind of getting to know each other from doing it and collaborating together on stuff, I'll be the first to say these two guys are fucking awesome fucking people. I would fucking hang out with them. I'd go to fucking dinner. I'd go to a show. I mean, these are guys that I respect. And when people ask, like, well, why do you only have these two guys? Well, I'll have more people, but these guys right here, they're legit people. They're true to themselves. They're true to fucking, and they're not a bunch of fucking fakes.
You
And
know what's hilarious, Vincent? You mentioned that before I started the YouTube channel, like you guys, I'm sort of anti people,
mm-hmm.
and my circle is very small. But like once we got in this community and we started rolling, I started meeting some fucking awesome people on here,
Yeah.
and they're all metalheads, So, leave it to the metalhead community for restoring my faith in people. But I think that speaks volumes for our people, like the metalhead community and all that stuff. Like I said, great people. You guys, everybody else who we talk to, just great dudes. We send each other free stuff that we all
Yeah.
support each other, and I mean, I love that. Like, it's really restored my faith in people doing this YouTube stuff with you guys.
A lot of, I
It
mean,
is.
a lot of the
Go
channels
on.
are just, you got Barry from that Goat Metal show, Drucifer.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of people, and I've kind of noticed it's the bigger metal channels that seem like the ones that get like,
Yeah,
30,000 fucking hits that these fuckers have their heads up their fucking ass and
it's the truth. It really
and
Yeah.
is.
they act like they're the say all of what metal is and shit. And I'll stay in our community. I could give two shits about, someone that's telling me what metal is and what album sucks and shit like that.
Yeah. That that's very true. And yeah, Eddie, you're right about as far as the people we've met. I mean, for me, met here just through
Great
these channels,
guys.
whatnot. Everybody's very cool. The people I've collaborated with, very cool. It's also funny about Drucifer. He lives in the same area as I, and we've actually hung out a few times in person. And it's just funny. Some people, you just talk to them, even online, you just automatically feel that sense of connection where you, all right, this person's solid. That's a fun. For me, I'm always attracted to people that are fucking alphas. You know, people that are sure of themselves, not fucking assholes. People think alpha means like some fucking tough guy. It has nothing to do with that. It means people that are, you know, sure of themselves, and that's the kind of people I'm attracted to. Not sexually, but well, if it's a woman, but
Well,
yeah. Anyway, but like for example, with you two, it's funny that as soon as the first time we collaborated with both of you, the connection was easy, just an easy talk. There was no weird, odd shit going on. It was just a good conversation, and also too, it's a conversation. You notice we're all taking turns talking, listening. Nobody's talking. Oh wait, let me get my words in. I gotta act cool. You know, fuck
right.
all that. You know. And then real quick about Drucifer, like the first time I met him was at one of these metal swap meets. Once a month here in Houston, they put up at a bar. They have all these tents, everybody selling merchandise and stuff. It's really cool. And I saw him there, and he walked by. I said, "Hey man, Drucifer." He goes, "Oh yeah." And I told him who it was. He was like, "Oh no shit, man." And immediately we just started bullshitting. It just clicked real easy, and hung out with him at that Hell's Heroes show and some other times. And just a very easy, easy person to get along with. And he was on the same level as far as what, your thoughts and attitude and
Yeah.
everything.
Low
That's
maintenance.
cool.
That's the key.
Yeah. Another
But
person that actually helped me to learn about you, Rhevok, because is Justin Horville from, J Dog. And what happened was when I started first doing the Q&As, when I'd watch it back on the TV, that's the first time I seen his own channel. I had seen the other channel Hell's Headbangers did with his
yeah,
brother, and
yeah,
I was like, "Oh, check this out." And I even told him at first I was like going, "Fuck's this guy fucking saying fucking like thinks he knows it all about metal and shit," and it fucking got me into watching. And when I was watching, your video for JL America was on there. I was like, wow, check this. So I kind of learned about you both. And then Justin, I made a comment on one of his videos and he was like, wanted to do an interview with me. So I'm like going, I'll go up to the shop and check it out and do an interview. And I watched it. I started to get what he was doing. And when I met him in person, he's a really cool fucking guy.
yeah,
He's people don't get he's not the character on the fucking video. He says shit he fucking means, but you have to read between the lines. He is trying to trigger all those fucking easy fucking people that get mad at the dumbest fucking things. And you know, when we played in Cleveland, I did another interview with him and sat down beforehand, before we even played, and we were talking. The guy's fucking chilled out, really cool guy. His wife's really nice. It's people, and his videos kind of got me back out there again.
yeah,
So, it's kind of like a circle with people helping out and letting them know about all of our stuff that we have in our lives. And I gotta do the shameless one, so I gotta thank you, Rhevok. The new one kicks ass, man.
oh,
Fucking
very cool.
really like it, man. And it's stuff like that that I think is important, because every channel that has every major release on it and telling you what sucks and what doesn't suck, you got people like us that are just trying to basically say, well, this is the good shit. This is some cool stuff you might not have heard of. And we're going to save our time from fucking bashing fucking shit all day long.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're right about that fucking J Dog homeboy. I did a couple of collaborations with him, and every time after we got done, kind of like with the first time you and I did that, and Eddie the same thing. After the recording was stopped, we talked for a fucking hour after that. And then
Yeah.
I actually did meet him in person at that Hell's Heroes, and he was cool and everything. His wife was cool too. So, so I mean, I could sense I would probably people I would hang around with too, you know.
And he's a great ambassador for our scene. It really is. And with the
Yeah.
volume that he gets for views on his channel, like it's, it's really good for us,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, hell, he definitely helped me out. It's funny, somebody guess it was 2 years ago, whenever when I first started this channel, somebody forwarded him the first music video he did, and he watched it, talked about it, and then that definitely helped our band's channel. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I just think it's very cool when you don't have those fucking people that are trying to restrict things and make their rules and be a little bit more open minded. And when we're kind of going into stuff like music, one thing I like about your guys' channel is you talk about uh different music you like. And another pet peeve of mine is people that you only listen to fucking the most brutal death metal or the darkest black metal, or it can even be with like punk or hardcore or fucking all the other shit out there. Every music has some kind of fucking person now that thinks they're the absolute authority of it, and they don't think you should stray from any path from it.
that's the great
And
thing about you guys is you're the anti that. And I respect that so much. Like even as underground as you guys are, your horizons are so expanded. You listen to all kinds of stuff. And I like that as a music and a metal fan, that you're not elitists, but I do run to those people a lot. And I have to shake my head a lot of times, because a lot of times, like if I'm at a barbecue or hanging out or at a party, all these metal elitists that only listen to underground shit, somebody will put on like, Symphony of Destruction. You see them over singing it and jamming out to it. And meanwhile, they're telling you that's a shit that they hate, but they still know all the words to it. I've seen it
Yeah,
100 times. It's hilarious.
it is comical because, again, yeah, I like all the underground raw black metal shit, but I also like to listen to some weak ass shit too. I actually, it's funny, Eddie. I know you were talking about White Lion the other day because I was laughing. I was like, I fucking like White Lion, man. I do.
Listen, when I had you on the show and I didn't know you, right? So we actually hit it off pretty good. Like really
Yep.
talking to you was like talking to an old friend. But I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I mean, I hope this guy's so underground. Like, he's going to fucking just tear my shit up. Like, I can't tell him that I listen to White Lion or that kind of stuff, because he's just going to fucking tear me apart. But talking to you over that interview, and I realized how much stuff you actually like, I was like, man, this guy's fucking awesome, because you're not like that.
Well, yeah, I really am. I feel like a connoisseur of music because, I mean, death metal and black metal is my main shit, but I like all kinds of stuff. I can't just listen to that. Hell, I was listening to fucking Yes last week, going through all that shit. Is that my favorite? No, but I like to go back and revisit it and change stuff up, and listen to movie soundtracks, or listen to goth or death rock, Susie and the Banshees and Sisters of Mercy, whatever. And people will say, "Oh, it's fucking pussy shit." Well, you're a fucking pussy. Fuck you. Doesn't matter to me. And I know I haven't heard it, but people listen to that EP we did where it was more straight black metal, and they probably assumed that we're, this new full length is going to sound just like Satanic War Master or something. It's not. It's all kinds of shit, because they're like, everybody in our band, they all have the same mindset as I. They listen to punk, hardcore, hard rock. Like the guitarist, I think he listens to fucking like rock more than anything, but he writes all these fucking heavy metal, black metal riffs. And I think that's how it should be. You can't just limit yourself to listening to, Clandestine Blaze. That's it, and nothing else. And you got to mix it up. At least for me.
Yeah, for sure. I think every song is its own little story too, and feel. So if you just take a cookie cutter approach and do the same thing, yeah, because I was actually watching some highlights of, I don't know if it was Milwaukee Metal Fest or something, and it just seemed like there's some good bands playing, but it seemed like it was the same boom, boom, boom. Let's do some fucking songs to get a pit going,
Yeah.
and that's good for some people and stuff, but least where my head's at now, I just I like moods in songs, you know. That's why, you know, some people will say, you like tribulation or you like in solitude and shit. That's not
Yeah.
heavy. It's like it's good fucking music. And I honestly would take that type of stuff over a lot of the cookie cutter shit today. And but it's to each their own. And if you want to do a song that's influenced by a certain style and then take another one, I think that's great because it just opens up the horizon of what, you know, the listener can experience.
Yeah, I think, and then also alluding back to that fucking homeboy, that J Dog, one thing he said that I agree with underground metal, there's really nothing new you can do, honestly, unless you just really take it off the left field and do some crazy noise shit or something. It's done the same thing, but you just got to write catchy songs. You
And
know,
that's
if I
that's
hear a
exactly
band,
what you did on this new EP, more than like really. Both those songs are fucking amazing, and they're good, and they stick with you. They got those riffs that just stick in your head. Great stuff.
appreciate hearing that because that's the idea. Because you know we don't want to have like this full length coming out. There's some songs with blast beats and Hall and Aspen. There's also mid tempo rock and roll sounding ones, and it's done purposely. So you listen to the album, it's doing this. You know, go
Journey.
crazy and then relax a little bit and groove. You know, because as they say, that it sounds fucking stupid, that headbang shit, but we always used to always joke, you know, if you're in the studio or playing and he writes a riff and you start going doing that stupid face and bobbing your head, all right, that's a good riff right there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I like, you know, catchy shit like that. That's you know, and not to be all about sucking each other's dicks here or anything, but I mean, like with Asheron, that's what I always liked about Asheron, because I've over the years, you know, like I told you before, in high school, I bought the first album, and that has just that classic mid-tempo, well, kind of mid-tempo-ish upbeat black metal. But what I liked about it, it kind of reminded me of Vital Remains, where it was fast but not super blasting, but it just had that crunch to it. And then with the subsequent releases after that, they were all, you still tell it was the same band, but a little bit different. You know, it's like
Yeah.
we talked about that song Life Force. That's one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite Asheron songs. I absolutely love that song. The keyboards on there. And that whole album actually, you know, it's very keyboard driven, but I like that album a lot.
Being as a kid, like getting into Deicide and stuff, and then when I bought Rights of the Black Mass, I bought it off of the album cover, you know, and
Yeah.
taking that home, that was way different than what the other bands that I was listening to at the time. It was way different than Death or Deicide or Morbid Angel, and like that stuck with me because it was in the same vein but different, you know, and like
Yeah.
albums like that resonate with me. It had a different feel to it, and just amazing record, really
And
It's
legendary.
plus
great.
the satanic passages between each song was very cool as well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in theory you would think, well, that breaks up the momentum. No, actually it doesn't. It works really well. Just like when I listen to Imp and Tygo, even though it's different, but they have all the movie sound bites, the long ones between. I like it. It just sets the tone for the next song, and I don't feel like it messes up the flow to it at all.
Yeah. You know, kind of going back to the topic, one thing that annoyed me is that a lot of people they get stuck on who's the fucking popular band. And I always liked, you know, did it suck that, you know, like Asheron was never as big as Morbid Angel or Deicide? Of course, because I mean, you want your music out there, but I embraced that whole thing. And I liked being the villain, the fucking person that fucking magazines would talk shit about and stuff like that. And uh, I think people get too focused sometimes on only liking the stuff that's popular. And like I said, I don't give a shit who listens to my stuff, and that's it's cool. But I appreciate the hate as much as I fucking appreciated the fucking praise, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, if somebody's talking shit about it, that means that's a good thing, you
Yeah.
know. Just like Sarcophago, I remember seeing reviews for them in Metal Maniacs. They talked all horrible reviews about it. I fucking loved it. And also going back to Asheron, you know, not being as popular in Morbid Angel. Back then, for me, you know, a lot more people were into death metal. and you talk to people, oh man, I love fucking Deicide, Morbid Angel, but then the people that mention stuff like Asheron or Baphomet from New York or other bands like that, they start talking about that, then that told me, oh, these are the real motherfuckers here. They're into the real shit, not just the average. Oh, I'm into death metal. I know the ones that everybody else knows.
Yeah, it's just kind of a funny thing, and like now the the annoying thing is everyone has to like the flavor of the month, and or or like the ones only that people hate. You can't like them both, and
Yeah,
it's I guess it's been like that for a while, but it always was like annoying that like some people had to be on a certain wagon at the time. And like we've mentioned, there's stuff I like that people might absolutely love. There's stuff that probably they think sucks. They probably things that they don't even fucking know about. And what the fuck ever. It's just what it is. But dude, I guess then we could probably talk about this for fucking ever. So I wanted one of you guys take one of your annoyances to the next level now.
You know what
oh,
is a big fucking thing for me is because I commute to work every day is driving and traffic and fucking road construction. Like, there's nothing worse than putting in a fucking 12-hour day at work and having to come home, in a 1-lane fucking highway where I just want to get the fuck home. And
yeah.
it takes me an extra 20 minutes, half an hour sometimes to get home. And it's the last thing I want to be doing after a fucking 12-hour workday. It just irritates the shit out of me. I don't know about you guys and your commuting and what you're doing, but
Oh yeah. Around here, there's always construction, always some fucking bullshit, and then some fucking idiot in the fucking speed, the fast lane, driving fucking 50 miles an hour, looking at their fucking phone. Like, get your fucking ass out of the way. And, oh.
Phones are the worst. You see so many fucking idiots on the phone or taking pictures of them fucking selves, and they're swerving, and you're like, this motherfucker hits me, man. I'm gonna fucking go ape shit right now.
Yeah.
And I
Man,
think
that,
I think too, I don't know about your states, but in Columbus, the big thing here is everyone rides your fucking ass. I mean, to the point of like you stop at a light, they're on your bumper. You're driving in the fast lane, they're on your bumper, even if you're going 90 miles fucking an hour. It's like the epitome of annoyance here for that. And then we had just my wife and I went to LA a couple weeks ago, and their big thing is cutting in front of you at any given fucking time. And like even when there's like only 10 feet to get in front. Is what kind of shit is in your neck of the woods for driving?
that same shit. I think, excuse me, the problem around here, people always say, oh, Texas, they're a bunch of fucking hillbillies here. No, actually, most people around here are not even from here. There's so many fucking people from everywhere, from California, New York, all over the place coming here for the oil industry, medical, because it's very big here. And yeah, you see all kinds of fucking idiotic driving bullshit going on for sure. I don't know. Not having road rage. Excuse me. Fucking eating too much pussy last night. But like, actually, it's funny. I used to get that road rage and want to fucking fight somebody on the side of the road. And since I've gotten older, I try to slow that down. But it was probably about a few years back. I was backing out, and some guy was flying through the parking lot, blowing their horn. God damn it, fucking pissed me off. And then I started yelling, and then he stopped, like he wanted to do something. I put it in park and got out. I was ready to start fighting, and then he just drove off. And I was thinking, I'm really glad he drove off because I really don't want to be out here fighting in a parking lot and then some dumbass shooting a video of it. And then that's
Yeah,
why I try to be more reserved about that stuff.
yeah, road rage. I've done the same thing of like trying to get my handle on it. My wife tries to calm me down when we're in the car, but it's I remember an incident, and this was like early 2000s, and I was getting off work and I was turning at an intersection, and this guy was behind me, and I had a guy in front of me, and he kept revving his engine. And you know when they fucking go a little bit?
Yeah.
And I'm like going, I don't know what the fucking guy thinks he's going to do because fucking, you know, I can't go anywhere. And he fucking did it and he bumped my truck.
Oh shit.
Oh.
And I'm going, motherfucker. And he gets out of the car and starts fucking waving his hand. So I'm at this point irate. And I jump out the car and he fucking looked and he jumped back in his car. And I fucking like was like, oh no, you're getting fucking out. And I'm not paying attention to I'm at a fucking intersection. And I'm like, get the fuck out of the car. And he's like grabbing his cell phone like he's gonna call the police. And I'm like, this is the guy hit me. Why are you fucking gonna call the police? So I kicked his fucking door and I fucking got back in and I thought, yeah, there's cell phones now. I better get the fuck out of here because.
I know, actually, cell phones have ruined all the fun.
Yeah, no doubt. And not to mention, everybody now has a gun that's fucking wants to pull it out and fucking for the stupidest reasons.
Yeah,
I take a 2-lane highway home, so I don't have a 3-lane highway on a commute. So the passing lane is always jammed up. Everybody's in the passing lane because everybody wants to pass the trucks that are going slow. So I try to have fun with it now. Like I support the truckers. So if I see a trucker that I'm passing, he's got his blinker on, I always let him in. And I look at the people behind me and they're probably all fucking pissed off at me. I just kind of do that for fun on my commute home. So, and the truckers appreciate me.
That's the best thing to do is just piss them off. Because actually a couple weeks ago, I had someone riding my bumper like always. And you could tell they were like wanting to get somewhere. So I got to the stoplight and it was, you know, green. And I was in the turning lane and it turned yellow and I waited till it almost turned red. So he had to stay at the fucking light and guy's beeping his horn and shit. And it's like, well, you didn't ride my ass. Maybe you could be going through that light right now.
And the people behind you, they're fucking not going anywhere because it's a whole line of traffic in the fast lane. Where the fuck are they going to go? You know, it's like, just chill out.
So you have any topics? You have any topics, Rhevok?
Actually, just one real quick other story about road rage. Then we'll move on. But this is again, I'm back before there was people who had everybody had a video camera. But one time, I was with in a car load with a bunch of guys, and you know I wasn't drunk, but everybody else was. And they had a whole 12-pack of beers back there, and some car pulled out and almost hit us, and we almost ran off the road and kept going. Of course, my dumb ass, now fuck that, man, speed up and let's go fuck this motherfucker up. So we're sped up. I was getting full cans of beer with it out being open and throwing it and bouncing it off the side of the car. And I was trying to break his fucking window. And then the guy driving started realizing, you know what, this is fucked up. And he started freaking out and drove off, thought we were going to jail. It's like shit like that. I could not imagine doing that now. Of course, I was like probably 24 when I did that.
I'm sure it could kick in if you had the right circumstance, but you try to use your head a little bit more now. I know that.
Yeah, no, you know, I try, honestly, I try to be respectful to everybody. I don't care who it is, but when somebody crosses me wrong, I let them know. And one thing, too, about holding the door open for people, I go into an establishment, I always hold the door open, especially if it's a woman. The other day, I was walking in the store and a little kid was walking. Oh, this was yesterday, actually. And I opened the door. Kid walked out. His mom followed some big fucking fat ass pig walking through. She didn't even look at me and acknowledge, you know, thank you. So I said, ma'am, you're welcome for holding the door for you. Oh, yeah. So you fucking fat ass pig. But actually, one more doors holding story. This has happened at a fucking nice restaurant a few years back. I was with some fucking girl. We went out, had dinner, walking through the crowded little area where people were waiting to be seated. I hold the door open for her to let her walk out. Some fucking cocksucker just walked right in front of her and walked through there. And the whole place was crowded and I just couldn't control myself. So I started yelling, hey, you motherfucker. And I started yelling all this shit and following him outside. I was ready to fucking whip his fucking ass. And he was walking real fast back, looking back at me like I was crazy. Like he had no idea what he did wrong. Huh? Stuff like that. Like, how do you not realize you just did some fucked up shit like that?
Yeah, well, I think too, I'm the old man in the fucking group today, but it's like I was always brought up open doors for kids, women, and older people.
Yeah.
and I still to this day do that.
Yeah.
But I've noticed too, it must have been like, this was like 15 years ago, probably. I had gone to the mall to buy something, and I opened the door for a woman, and she stopped and goes, I can get my own fucking door. And and my response was, shut the door. Fuck you, bitch. It's like, it's like that mentality is fucking, I don't know. It's as much as I hate people, I fucking at least show people respect till they
Yeah.
disrespect me. You know what I mean? And that's definitely, I noticed nowadays that's just a common fucking thing. People like grabbing the door, just walking through, and like the old person behind them, and they don't open the fucking door, or a fucking kid, and that pisses me off to no fucking end.
Oh, it's just fucking sorry. It's fucking people. There's no chivalry or nothing. And I see this too a lot of times. I mean, a guy with his fucking wife and family, that fucking cocksucker just walks in and in front of his wife. Actually, this is another door story. This is fucked up. Was going into a restaurant, and there was a family coming in, and the guy was there, and he was holding the door open. So I just stopped, and he said, "Come on, man, go through." I said, "Well, I thought you were holding the door for your wife." And then she looked at him and she goes, "Yeah, you see, he's a gentleman." Told her husband that.
That's
I
hilarious.
said, "Well," I said, "that's all on you." And he could tell he felt like a fucking dumbass too. And his wife, "Yeah, that's a gentleman right there."
Okay,
That was
door stories,
recently.
Eddie.
I just think people are so goddamn inconsiderate, like you said, like holding the door for people. Like there's fucking neighbors who just let their fucking dogs out without a leash, and they're roaming the goddamn neighborhood, and you can't even walk down our street. We walk our dog on a leash, you can't even walk down the street without getting fucking, you know, another dog coming up to you. You don't know if they're friendly or not. It's just inconsiderate shit like that people do that just irritate the shit out of me.
That's fucked up right there. When it
Yeah.
comes to dogs, you
Yep.
never know if your dog's going to get into a fight with another
Yeah.
one. And
They come on your property and shit on your property, like
Oh, that's one for me. These motherfuckers that walk their dogs and don't pick up their shit, and they fucking try to leave it on your property or fucking shit. Or when you're going like I like to go hiking and stuff, and fucking fuckers bring their animals on the fucking trails, and they're shitting on the fuck. I just want to grab them by the fucking head and rub their face in it, man. It's just like,
yeah, that
God.
is. I know what you're talking about. You go into a park or something, a national park, whatever, and you see fucking dogs shit in the middle of the trail
yeah,
that everybody's walking.
you know.
Yeah, some
That's
people
good.
have no fucking courtesy for fucking anybody else, and it's like that. That's what makes me fucking hate a lot of them. It's just they're fucking rude as fuck, and it's quite funny because I think people think like people into metal would be that rude all the time, and if my experience is most metal people are some of the most courteous fucking people around, at least back when I was like growing up. It's
Yeah.
uh it's they put it in movies that we're dumping beer over people's heads and kicking old ladies and shit. but it's
Well,
but in
you're right.
reality,
Yeah. When it comes to like metal shows, I mean, in the old days there used to be a lot of fights, but honestly, now when I go to a death metal, black metal show or something, I haven't seen a fight at one of those shows in a long time. But you go to hardcore and punk shows, that's where you come across a bunch of fucking scumbags, man. And people are always fighting and shit.
They're just out to
I mean,
hurt in those hardcore pits. They really are.
yeah,
yeah. Then people doing that crowd killing shit. Is that
Yeah.
man? Oh,
yeah, they have those I think a lot of problems stem more from people that are like the tourist of the shows, the ones that usually don't go to shows, or they're just trying to get into something to entertain them. There was a small show here once, and a friend of mine's band was playing, and there was a couple people, the people that aren't there. It's not that someone's different, or there's just some fucking redneck looking motherfuckers that
yeah.
that that came to fucking cause some shit. And a lot of the times, I mean, throughout the years, everybody kind of like watches their friends back. So there was a friend of mine's girlfriend was up front and she had a drink, and this guy kept like slamming into her. And I'm like, okay, she has a drink in the front. She might get slammed from, people trying to start a pit. Well, then I just started noticing he was just targeting people. And my thing is like, man, you start fucking doing that, it's war. So
Yeah.
he came back and he hit this little guy that fucking I knew. So I like pushed him back and he came at me and I fucking got one fucking punch in, and everybody I knew was on top of him, fucking just fucking whooping his ass. I couldn't even get in it. I was like, oh, what the fuck? So the guy, my one friend's like blocking him and he's like kind of holding me back and he's like going, oh, don't get in trouble. And the guy looks at me and goes, you fucking metal fucking pussies. And my friend looked at me and he had my Doc Martin on his fucking forehead real fucking fast and he got fucking thrown out the fucking show. But it was like, it wasn't us starting shit. It was just kind of courtesy for the friends and people that are in the scene and going, no, you're not going to disrespect our scene and our shows by coming in here and trying to be fucking dickheads and shit.
Yeah, I'm a big pit guy myself, or at least I was when I was younger. And if it's a band I love, I'm getting in that pit. I'm starting that fucking pit. And if I'm always courteous, like if I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but if I do accidentally hit somebody or whatever, I'll go up to him and I'll give him a tap. Like, you okay, bro? If somebody goes down, I help them up. I got that from Tom Araya way back when that live record come out. See somebody going down, you help them up. That's what I was brought up on. And then there's assholes who are legitimately trying to hurt people in there that you come across here and again. And they're usually triple my size, So, but those motherfuckers, I don't care how big they are. I fucking go at them the whole show. And people around you will realize what's going on. They'll know because they're watching the pit. They know that guy's at the cheap shot people. And I got a lot of people on my side when I go after them. And then, we just hammer the fuck out of those people until they just, step back. But I've seen it before. I've been involved with 100 of those things, like just nuts.
I agree. They need to be fucking taught a lesson. Somebody coming in there trying to pull some shit like that. That's why I feel some people need an ass kicking, and that's especially relevant today. Lots of people need their fucking asses whipped. The repercussions of talking shit or doing something fucked up and somebody slapping you in the fucking face. That needs to happen more these days.
Okay, well, that's another topic then, because I actually have a little story. I've heard that there's schools that have this zero tolerance for violence now. Now, I can understand, not promoting kids to beat the shit out of each other because they're there to go to school. But if your kid is getting picked on and he punches a guy or she punches whoever back by defending themselves, they should not get repercussions or thrown out of school for that because of violence. Because I think this whole mentality of like, oh, just don't do anything and, look away, turn the other cheek bullshit. No, I mean, because once you become a pushover and you get fucking harassed or bullied, you are not going to fucking grow up to be a fucking very productive individual, in my opinion. I know somebody that kid got thrown out of school because a bully kept picking on them, and finally the parents said, do what you can and we'll support you. And he beat the shit out of the bully. And usually the bullies, because I remember in school, the ones that usually were the bullies were the ones that fucking like couldn't fight or or just maybe bigger in size, but they didn't know how to handle themselves and no one kind of challenged them. But what do you guys think about the whole thing with schools
That happened
not
to me, and
taking?
I remember that happened to me in fifth grade. Man, on the bus on the way home, this kid had a problem with me, and he was like a bully of the bus. And I could see him. Everybody was talking on the bus. Oh, Mike and Ed are gonna fight when I get off the bus. So uh, he's like in the back of the bus, like pretending to like punch people, like he's getting ready for the fight. So right, we get off the bus and we take our jackets off and we start fighting. And the kid is like the biggest pussy ever, right? Like he made himself out to be such a, this, like a tough guy or whatever. And all his friends are around. And the kid was a pussy. And, I punched him and he kind of went back like that. And I'm like, are we done here? And like, I learned a big lesson from that, moving forward. I mean, that was all the way back in fifth grade, stand up to a bully because that's the only way the shit is going to end,
Yeah.
There are people out there that'll whoop your fucking ass. And they got to learn that too. It's like, someone's fucking with you. It doesn't mean if you stand up for yourself, you're going to win, but the whole thing, you're winning as you stood up for yourself.
Yeah. You don't want to be a doormat for anybody. Definitely not.
No.
Yeah. I agree 100% because once you get that reputation of, oh, that guy's a pushover, everybody's going to just run over your ass. But you knock the shit out of somebody or stand up, like, okay, yeah, better not mess with that person. And also, too, it's all about how you carry yourself, too. I don't care if you're some 5'2" sawed-off motherfucker or some big guy, little person. It's how you carry yourself, the way you walk, how you talk. And people can tell that's a victim right there. That's a target. I can fuck with this person, but no, I don't want to mess with him because he might do something. Mm-hmm. It's all about how you carry yourself and how you walk, conduct yourself. And also, when you talk to somebody, look them in the eye, shake their hand, and fucking give them a solid handshake, not this fucking limp dick pussy shit. And people can't look you in the eye when they talk. Fucking weak ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I just found that story with a kid getting kicked out and stuff. I mean, and it goes manifest to like throughout your life. It's like I'm 56 now. I'm sure there's tons of people that wipe the fucking ground up with me, but you know what? Someone's going to do something. I'm going to at least get one good one in before I fucking go down. And I plan on being that way till I'm fucking with a cane walking down the fucking street. If I shove a cane up your fucking ass, but it's like,
yeah,
I never go out trying to fucking start shit. I try to mind my own business. I try to be respectful. Or if I see people that I know I have no want to be around, I just avoid them. And that's how I conduct myself. Violence isn't something you just, do for no reason, but it's definitely important to keep yourself higher up on the food chain for sure.
Yeah, that goes, you're right, as far as how that shapes your life, because you become a pussy like that, and then in your professional life and whatever, people can sense that and they start running all over you, and it becomes just a pattern where you just don't get out of it. I do not agree with that. I don't let any motherfucker get over some shit on me. And again, it's like not like, oh man, I can whip everybody's ass. No, it's not that case. But again, you got to stand up for yourself and not let people get away with fucking bullshit. That's a no. That is not a. It's.
I have a topic that is definitely the less serious one. Walmart people.
Oh, I don't even go there anymore.
Man, I tried never. I mean, I ain't lying. Walmart's everywhere, so sometimes when you have to grab something, that's the go-to. I tend to try to go to other grocery stores or stores just not to be in that environment. But throughout the years, it's like I don't care if you go to a Walmart in fucking the boonies of Kentucky or Beverly Hills. It's the same motherfucking people there. Fuckers that walk around in their pajamas and their fucking slippers. Fucking weirdest. I actually saw someone in a fucking banana suit walking around one time. I was like, what in the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's definitely a magnet for just fucking retard shit right there. There's no question about that. Yeah, I could think of numerous just weird shit that happened in there.
I don't
Like you
have the
say,
patience to shop anymore. Like I feel like the older I get, the less I can tolerate. But if I have to go into a Walmart, especially when I'm with my daughter, like we have a very skewed sense of humor. My daughter has my sense of humor too. We just end up making fun of people like the whole time we're in Walmart. We're like, look at that fucking guy.
oh, I know. Hey, look at this fucker over here.
My daughter is right there with me. It's so great. She's
That's
got my sense
cool.
of humor.
Very cool. Actually, one
Swear.
time this was during that COVID bullshit when everybody's fucking wearing masks. That's fucking stupid. But then some Walmarts have a McDonald's in there, and I walked by the McDonald's. There was some fucking fat pig sitting there eating a hamburger. They had the mask on, but the mouth cut out, and he was eating the hamburger. Like, what fucking kind of logic is that?
Just a segue off that, I heard, was it in Asia or something? They made a mask that has their face on the front that you can pull out and eat so people don't like watch you eat. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on with people, man? They're just, but the Walmart, it's like, I think depending where you are, you always get the same people, but it seems like the more shadier parts of town, it just escalates even fucking more of the fucking
Yeah.
craziness. And when my wife and I first got together, she was living in southern Ohio, right near Kentucky, and she's from a small town. And I was wanting to move out of the city, but job opportunities and stuff, she ended up moving, to the city. And her her first weekend, she went with her friend to a Walmart to grab something for the house, like I don't know, nails or something like shit like that. And man, the story I got just made me fucking laugh. She goes, "Man, these motherfuckers here. We went down this one aisle and some guy's just putting shit in his fucking jacket." And she goes, "Then we went down to the hardware and some guys just randomly swinging an axe down the fucking aisle."
Yeah,
and
that's some hills have eyes shit there.
and it was just multiple stories from one little adventure at the fucking store. And I just think of all the times I've just seen the most bizarre things, because I used to work the late shift and I'd get off at like 4 in the fucking morning, and that was like a place that you could grab some shit after work. And I would see the most fucked up fucking people in the world. I mean, I saw one guy look like he was straight from fucking that movie Breaking. He had the, the tube socks. He literally was carrying a ghetto box, fucking this walking
Oh,
up.
damn.
This is like 4:30 in the morning. What the fuck's this guy up to? But
Probably no good.
right.
Man, it's yeah, just I'm sure everybody can think of actually another story from Walmart. This was years ago. I was walking around and Eddie, like you said, making fun of people and watching them. I was watching this mother and son. The son was probably 14, but you could tell he was some big baby Huey motherfucker. He was big, but he was younger. And he was arguing with his mom the whole time. And she said, you better, they were talking like shit to each other. You better shut the fuck up. He would like get up her face, say it one more time, I'll knock the shit out of you. He was telling his mom that. And then, so of course, we just kept following him every aisle, just watching. And then she said, I'm going to tell your dad. He said, tell that motherfucker I'll kick his fucking ass. Damn. So we just kept following him and listening and laughing. This is one of the days I probably would have got a phone and shot that because it was fucking hilarious.
It's funny when cell phones were kind of like first making their mark. I'm talking like the flip phones. Uh, I was first in Columbus, and my buddy and I used to do this thing. We would call it the Walmart hunt, and we had you had your phone and you had to get photos of the most fucked up people in the fucking Walmart, and you'd bring it back home and go, oh, I got 7 here, and it was a game for like months, and it was so ridiculous, but it was like so entertaining because you would get so many just weird ass fucking people in there, and no matter what, too. I don't know about you guys. It's like I don't pursue talking to people when I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I just like to do my shit. I wait in a line. I don't need a conversation with anybody. And I always get people, whether it be cool tattoos, where are you getting
Oh
your
yeah.
tattoos? Or I I have a shirt that says I hate people. And I have a tank top like that too. And I like to shop in it when I can. And I swear I don't want to wear it anymore because people are like, oh, that's a cool shirt. And they try to talk to me. It's like, did you fucking read the shirt, you fucking idiot? It's like,
So you don't get the message, motherfucker.
yeah. It, God, people are so fucked. But I don't know. I just thought that was a very amusing fucking theme right there, the Walmart people, especially since you remember they had the people of Walmart websites where they would just take
Yeah.
people. God, some of the grossest fucking individuals. You always got some fucking huge fat person that's fucking wearing the most skimpiest shit that you don't want to fucking see.
They end up looking like Carl from Michael Teen Hunger Force.
Right, exactly.
Blue sweatpants and a wife beater, you know?
Yeah, it's like these women that are like fucking 400 pounds and they're wearing half shirts. It's like, I really don't want to see that. It's like,
Yeah, man, that looks good, man. Yeah, you see some random hillbilly just seeing motherfuckers in like sweatpants and cowboy boots tucked in a cowboy shirt with the sleeves cut off, and just like, wow, they really got themselves together to get out of the house.
They wear flip flops and their toes are all fucking nasty and fucking
Oh
brown.
man.
Or you got that person in the fucking dental hygiene fucking to buy their toothpaste to brush their one tooth.
Oh. Yeah, there's I'm sure we could just sit there and talk about multiple stories about that fucking bullshit. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Okay, Eddie, you got anything else?
I'm looking at my list here. Some of the stuff we may not want to get into, but
We'll talk about that off camera.
Metalheads was definitely one of them. How about the fact that we're so overtaxed in this country? Like, how much more shit can they tax us on? Like, we all live paycheck to paycheck and, struggle to pay our bills and get food on the table and still have some money left over to do some of the shit that we like. And like, we should not be taxed on like food, clothing, or shelter or anything like that. Like, even if we own our house outright, we're still taxed on the property. And if we don't pay the property tax, they could seize your house. Like,
I know, talking about that. What's fucking stupid too, it makes you not even want to do any upgrades on your house because you do an upgrade and then you're getting taxed more. Fucking makes no god. Now that right there pisses me off. It makes no sense. Oh, well, maybe I want to put a new utility building in the backyard. I want to put a new entertaining deck back there. Well, your fucking taxes are going to go up. Well, just make my house look like shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I saw it was a quote from somebody. God, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's how the government kind of manipulates you. It said, give people money to make yourself look like the government's doing something for you, and then just weasel it out of their pockets with taxes. And people are just seeing the money that they're getting for free and not seeing the taxes being taken out of their fucking paychecks. And I was like, that's so true, especially with like the whole COVID shit, because it's like everybody was getting those fucking checks and
yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're wondering, man, why are we paying almost $4 for gas? And why is it like to buy a fucking carton of eggs? You have to give your first child, and I mean, it's crazy what they fucking do when they take out of everybody's
and I feel like we're just being robbed at this point. I feel like we're funding corruption. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also goes I'm sorry, go on.
No, hey, go ahead.
Oh, just real quick, just it goes back to people being fucking stupid and believing shit about those uh government checks we were getting. Oh man, cool. I get this check. Like, where do you think that fucking money's coming from? It's not free. It's not just coming out of nowhere. You're going to be paying for it one way or the other.
Yep.
Yeah, that's for sure. And and what, not just tax, thing is, our taxes are paying for bullshit. I mean, it's, I don't care. I'm gonna get into the touchy subject on this one, but fucking, it's like all these fucking illegal immigrants. It's like I am all for people coming over, doing the right thing, wanting to start a new life, experience the whole fucking United States of America experience, but
Yeah.
do it where you're embracing our our country, our culture, and being able to communicate with each other. You know, just taking everybody that, and one thing I really get pissed off about is like a lot of people just target Mexicans. It's like there is everybody under the sun coming into the United States. It's not just one fucking group of fucking people.
Nope.
Um,
Yeah.
I watched a documentary. They're finding, Chinese and Russian and fucking, South American and all kinds of currency there gets thrown away before they go over. And these people come over, and what's our fucking answer as a fucking country to do? Oh, let's give them fucking a bunch of money, maybe give them a place to live for a short time, and then boom, fucking you, the taxpayers, pay for all that shit. And I don't know, the usage of money is crazy. That the whole war with the Ukraine and stuff, giving billions of dollars when people are starving and homeless in our country.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
That's all political fucking crap. And then as far as giving people that come over here, we'll give you this, help you out, but vote for us because we gave you that shit.
Yeah.
It's about manipulation of the I don't know. That's it. It's all.
Yeah. No, I mean the whole tax thing is like I was just kind of bouncing that off of it because our taxes are paying for all these people that are coming over illegally. And
Yeah.
One thing I really found really fucking sickening is that veterans are getting less money than these people coming over illegally.
Crazy.
And I mean, I don't want my fucking monies going over to, I have no problem supporting veterans. I totally support our military people and people that fought for fucking the country and stuff. And I think they get shit on probably the most. But I just don't think we are thinking about the citizens of the United States. We're just thinking of like Anton LaVey said, wearing that good guy badge. There's people that fucking just want
Oh,
to be like, hey, I do the right fucking thing. And, we're the good guys here when they're only trying to make themselves look better and line their own pockets.
That's funny you
it,
say that because growing up, just being as a kid, right? You're always taught that the U.S. are the good guys, right? USA is, fights for what's right, and we're the good guys, and Russia are the bad guys. Whoever was the bad guy at the time, but older in this day and age, I don't feel like we're the good guys. I feel like we're one of the
no.
worst in the fucking world, to be honest with you, as far as corruption and money and power go. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, I agree. And you know what's funny too? This goes back to 80s comedy. I can't remember if it was Airplane or one of those movies like that. I think it was Airplane, the original one. Well, it was one of those goofy comedies, and then the person that was posing as the president, I can't remember which movie it was, but I just remember he was doing some press and he was, all right, here, let's take a picture. And he had these two mannequin hands that were black, and it looked like he was holding their hands and congratulating them. And it really wasn't nothing. It was just a mannequin. It was just taking a fake picture to make it look like he was helping people out. And that right there in a nutshell is exactly what fucking politicians are.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
fake shit.
Yep.
I think with a good response to that is that you remember that movie Team America, World
Yeah. Oh,
Police?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That sums it up in a nutshell right there. It's like, we think we need to get involved with every fucking thing. You know, it's we need to concentrate on our own fucking problems instead of fucking trying to fucking solve everybody fucking else's fucking problems, because there are so many problems in this country that, you know, should be dealt with. And
Yeah.
um I don't know. It's just annoying. And I definitely agree with you, Eddie. I think that we are no heroes and the greatest thing in the fucking world. Now, I think the whole concept of America and what we are supposed to stand for and the Constitution and everything, I think it is the best in the world. I mean, I've traveled to a lot of places and I started to appreciate the country because I was younger. I was like, fuck, this fucking country sucks. I want to move. And then I go to other countries and go, I might not want to fucking move, you know. But
Yeah.
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 I mean, especially like, you know, kind of bouncing off that whole illegal immigration. I totally understand why a lot of those people want to come over here. It's because a lot of those countries are fucked up, and
Yeah.
it sucks. And I understand wanting to make yourself have a better life for your family, but then there's also people just manipulating that fucking shit, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, America is definitely, they'll put you up on their shoulder for a fucking second, but don't be surprised when they toss you back over your fucking head, you know, when they're done with you.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all strategic as far as what the government and yeah, I just it's fucking crazy shit. Nothing. That's why, honestly, I can't do anything about it. That's why I just literally live in my own little bubble and
Right. You
take care of
can't.
the things I can control, and I control what I watch. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing what I like about all this technology and shit is most part not good, but I like having more control of my entertainment. I don't have to watch what's on fucking network TV. I pick the movies I watch. I don't watch shit with political messages they're trying to sneak in there. I can pick whatever I want, which usually I just go watch old Lost in Space episodes. So I don't got to worry about any of this fucking modern day bullshit.
I it really sucks because nowadays you bringing up like shows and stuff, uh there are all these fucking shows and movies that some have a lot of potential, some are just garbage, but they always have to fucking put that typical fucking some kind of fucking crazy message or the whole woke stuff. And you know, people try to say, well, woke is more, you know, for diversity and stuff. It's like, I have no problem putting different people together in a film if it's fucking goes with the story. It's
Yeah,
like you can tell. It's like when a movie goes, okay, we need let me see, we need a strong woman that's going to be the hero. We need a see, we need someone of color. We need someone gay. We need it's almost like,
it's a checklist.
yeah, and it's like that's not how you fucking make a good fucking film. You maybe use those type of characters that fit the bill, but you don't need to make a checklist for fucking everything. And it just gets fucking annoying. And it
Well,
they just
it's
don't
just
make
because
stuff.
it's forced. You can tell that it's forced. They're just purposely putting some person that fits this checklist in there. You're right. Put the people in there that fit the fucking story. You know, it's not like some forced bullshit. You can just see right through it. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I could
it's
think of
crap.
one of the newer Star Wars movies. You know, they're Disney now, right? The Star Wars is owned
Yeah,
by Disney. I forget
yeah.
which one it was, but it was one of the newer ones where they won the fucking battle, you know, of course. And then at the end, they're all celebrating, and there's two girls start kissing, and they make sure they focus on that while everybody's celebrating. They won the victory, and you know, they pan on the two girls kissing, like so unnecessary. Not that I have a problem with it, but it's done for a reason. It's
forced.
specifically put in there for a reason. It's forced, totally forced, and there's no
Well,
need for it.
yeah, it shows in what the general consensus is. Was it last? I guess it was last year when that new Top Gun movie came out. It's fucking blockbuster. It was made millions of dollars. It was a big hit, and it's because it went back to the old days of just a good, wholesome action movie. There was no agenda to it, and that's what people want to see. No, for the most part. I mean, there are these fucking weirdos that are obsessed with always nitpicking every little thing, but people want to just watch a movie, be entertained, not being told how to act and how to think.
Yeah, that's the big problem. And you can find some gems out there still, but they're like, you really got to look nowadays because it just gets to be like Eddie, you said, okay, here's the big scene. You got to fucking, because there was a series, I think it was called Neon Gods, and it was all these different gods that were becoming not important, and they were trying to have relevance to for being around, and they go through the different gods, and they had this one god, I think it was an Indian one, and man, for a show that was a series, I never saw such fucking like extreme shit in my life. Like the god was gay, and not only was he gay, they had a sex scene where it like thing went up the dude's ass and fucking did like it was like I was just like, what the fuck am I watching right now? It's just fucking like all I could think about is what some fucking kids watching this right now. They're like, that that has nothing to do with like, accept people for being gay or whatever. That's just some fucking just smut right there, fucking that they're putting on fucking shit.
I know.
Yeah, there's some shit. And again, that's why I like that we have lots of choices. And like, I don't like this, click, turn that off and go put
Yep.
on some other shit. Cause man, I don't know.
I think of the Hellraiser reboot. Did you guys see that on Hulu?
No, isn't Pinhead a woman on
So
there?
yeah, Pinhead is a woman, which is fine, I guess. But all the Cenobites are women, you know, and the characters, it's a girl and her brother. She lives with her brother, and her brother's gay. They had to throw that in there. So the brother's gay. Him and his boyfriend are hanging out in the bed, making out. Just
Oh, cool.
or
like
stuff
that
like
kind of
that you just don't need. It's just so unnecessary.
I mean, Clive Barker is gay, so if you
Yeah.
read this, you read the story, it was supposed to be a more androgynistic character. So I understand kind of what they were trying to do. Uh my thing was like you've already set up like Pinhead to be this iconic image, so it's kind of hard to like just change it like that and expect everybody to accept it. But in that case, I don't. It is what it is. I wasn't surprised because it was kind of like trying to get more towards what like the story was originally.
Yeah, his stories definitely have a lot of homoerotic shit on there. And hey, whatever. I mean, the movie Rawhead Rex, then the original story, their creature did not look like that big He-Man monster looking thing that's on the movie. The original in the book, it's a fucking giant penis looking phallic monster.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I like, people talk shit about that movie. I like it. It's just pure cheese. That monster just looks like something that would fucking come out of Snake Mountain or something,
Right. But I guess it's like I don't. And again, they have the right to do what they want. They should be able to put what they want out, and that's their
Yeah.
interpretation. But they should give other people a chance to put out stuff that's different than that, and not either ban it or not give it like because Hollywood's like the most fucked up inner circle there is. I mean, I'm sure there's so much fucking fucked up shit. All these stories we hear about celebrities and the fucking, owners of these industries out there and shit and all the fucking weird association and groups and stuff. I believe a lot of that shit because it's like you could see what's coming out in the fucking movies, and they want control of like everything and everybody out there.
Oh yeah, it is. It's about power and control, and I don't know. Again, that's why I just live in my own little world, and because I
Yep.
can't do anything. I mean, just kind of having conversations like this, and then me and all my friends sit around and have the same talks.
Yeah. And I and like you I think you made a good point too. It's like seeing some stuff, a lot of stuff out there you might not like that's it's newer. You always have those old movies you can go back to and solid stuff that is timeless to this day. And one thing is, I did a review on that New Omen, and I usually I'll talk about stuff I watch, but I don't usually just pick what's coming out. It's like whatever I discover. It could be something that was fucking 20 years ago I never fucking watched and shit. And um there's just stuff out there still to discover that a lot of people didn't know. I told Eddie the other day, have you seen Pledge Night, Rhevok?
That sounds really familiar, but I don't.
It, my wife found it on Tubi. It's a kind of a B horror movie, but Joey Belladonna from Anthrax
Oh
is on
yes,
there.
yes, yes. Actually, I'm looking it up now. I remember that 1990.
Yeah, I I never seen that before. I was like, it was
Yeah,
quite entertaining.
I do remember that movie. Of course, it's been a long time since I've seen it. If I watched it now, it would be like watching it over. But I do remember that because I remember Joey Belladonna was on there.
Hmm.
If it's on
Which,
Tubi, I'm going to check that out today at some point.
yeah, I need to go back and watch that. Yeah, there's some stuff you haven't seen in a long time because yeah, it's been a long. Actually, probably the last time I saw it is back then. Either I rented it or saw it on USA cable or something shit like that. Good old
Okay.
days, man.
Yep. Well, speaking of the old days, I think the last one we'll talk about today is, and think J Dog uses this term too, the pussification of males in society. How
Oh yeah,
everybody wants to take away the whole strong, like you would say, alpha type male attitude of from the males today. Everyone needs to be more, I don't know, contained and quiet and accepting and fucking bitch like, I would say.
yeah.
um,
Well, they want to use that stupid ass word toxic masculinity.
oh,
See
that's
that's there is a such a thing as that people that act like assholes like that. But when I see alpha male, I don't mean like some chauvinistic pig that's just an asshole. It means somebody that's sure of themselves, they have
right.
convictions, they have honor, not just some fucking asshole that has a position of power that's fucking filling up some bitch's ass and trying to take advantage of it. Like that's fucked up. But somebody and alpha could be a woman too. You
Yeah,
meet a woman
absolutely.
that's very sure of herself, and that's attractive. I don't
Abs-
like fucking meek ass people. Oh hi, fuck that. And again, it's not being loud and obnoxious. It's just being, when you meet somebody, you can automatically tell in 5 seconds if they're like that or not. You can
mhm.
just tell.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to like even movies and actors, Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone and you know these were people that were what young boys looked up to fucking wanting to be like and kind of got their whole idea of what a man can be if he works at it.
Yeah.
uh now it seems like they just want to push that's like you said, toxic, and it's stupid, and you have to embrace your feminine side and all this other stuff. What do you guys think about that?
To me, masculinity is like, being a good husband, being a good father, going, getting up and going to work every day and supporting your family. That's all it is to me. And it's nothing more than that. Watching out for your family and your friends, like I said, not being a doormat for anybody,
Yeah. I mean,
not being overly brash and saying, I'm a male and, you're beneath me. That's just stupid. But,
Yeah. Well, again, the people that you could just tell, the people that got to brag about themselves and, like you said, Eddie earlier, one up you and everything, that's fake. That's fake bullshit. The people, whether they're sure about themselves, whether they're a really good musician or good at what they do professionally, or even somebody can fight real good, the people that can do that really well, they don't got to brag about it. They don't have to because people can sense it from them. There's no reason to brag about anything. You're bragging, you're fucking full of shit.
yeah, I think that, and you have a choice. I mean, I'm not saying that if you're the more quiet, sensitive guy and that's wrong, or if you're not into it, you just know what you want, but there needs to be an acceptance of both sides. You know what I mean? Some people resonate to that, some people don't. And like you said, Rhevok, it's like, I mean, how many times you seen at the fucking gym the douchebags that wear the alpha shirt, and it's like, well, if you gotta fucking put it on your fucking shirt, probably not one.
Yeah,
It's um there's a balance. It's just to let there's nothing wrong with like knowing all the sides of the male characteristics. It's just making it like if you are into being a strong, headstrong fucking male and not taking shit, that's your right to fucking see stuff like that. And you shouldn't be fucking condemned for it. As long as you still respect people and have honor and stuff like that, I don't see the fucking problem with that.
I agree. I mean, that's what it is. That's people, again, pushing on being a fucking effeminate motherfucker. And also that, people think, oh, well, that's what is you're masculine. Are you? I've heard people say that means you don't like gays or something. No, it has nothing to do with it. There's fucking gays that are fucking alphas. It has nothing to do with any shit like that. Nothing. It just has to do with, men just being fucking weak. And again, they can't look you in the eye when you talk to them. They fucking won't shake. If they shake your hands, it feels like a fucking dead fish. Fucking
Mm-hmm.
limp dick ass motherfucker. And they can't, they're afraid to confront anybody. You got a problem? Hey, man, I got to talk to you in person. No, they'll do some cutthroat shit behind somebody's back or something. Just weak shit like that I do not understand or resonate at all with at
And
all.
and you know, there's always going to be those who lead and those who follow,
Yeah,
and it's up to you to pick what role you are, and you know, I'll be the first to say I know some people that like to get walked over. I try not to associate with too many people like that, but sometimes you make friends that are still cool and they're like that, and
yeah.
I don't have a fucking problem with it if I'm not dealing with the bullshit. But don't say that I'm a certain way because you don't agree with the way I live my life. Um, I just see a lot of fucking clowns now. They try to make strong male figures now look like buffoons and idiots.
like Andrew Tate, they do that too.
Right, right. Now that guy he's fucking out there, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
But
that guy's
he's definitely a target for the liberal media, that's for sure.
yeah. And you know, you can dislike a person. There's no problem with disliking it, but there are people out there that are like that. And there's still people that want to fucking be Arnold Schwarzenegger or want to be fucking, they're fucking idols and stuff. And there's nothing fucking wrong with that. And you can't say they're fucking toxic. Because they fucking do.
Nah, that's just people that say that because they're threatened by that kind of A-type personality. That's all
Yeah.
it is. They're threatened.
It
Not, not. Yeah.
it's like the Thor movies, Thor from the comics supposed to be this, Viking whooping ass and shit. And, you know, obviously this actor fucking put his time in the gym to fucking try to, have those aesthetics. And it's like such a fucking stupid joke. Like he's a dumbass and it's almost like the heroes aren't real heroes anymore. They're just like clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's very true. Again, that's why I just pick and select what I want to watch because there's too much crap like that going on.
Well, okay, brothers, I appreciate you guys being on. I knew this was going to be a long one. We could probably talk
Actually,
for fucking hours and hours.
oh yeah, it could easily do that.
And
Easily.
guys are always welcome on here. Fucking shit, maybe add some more people to the fucking, the groups and stuff. And I like to have some different people on and fucking continue this. It's always interesting to me to talk to people and get their opinions on stuff and kind of see where everyone's heads at because we're all different people. And the big problem today is no one can have a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true. People want to start yelling and freaking out about shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't worry about it. I just deal with my own stuff.
Did you either one of you want to
Anyway,
do a shout out of anything that's going on right now? Rhevok, you want any releases you want to push?
oh, yeah, everybody probably knows we're working on the full length. Just do a shout out to Goat Throne Records, who's going to be putting it out, which is a great fucking label. Probably people know about them, but we're going to do a CD and cassette release of that, and hopefully it'll be done by the summer. We're still recording it. We're probably got just a little bit more to do, so we're still focusing on that. Don't want to rush it. And just thanks to literally every motherfucker that keeps buying all this shit. I mean, this is not like a thing like, oh, we're cool. No, people have been very fucking generous buying stuff, and they also on Bandcamp do additional fan contributions. So we appreciate that, and all that money we don't pocket it. Just goes back into pressing more stuff, and we press some patches, which hopefully we'll get some of those soon. It's been very cool. So I appreciate everything, all the channels, and El Necron from San Antonio, jamming out all badass. Francisco, I can't. Plus you two as well. Definitely done well helping promote the name and the channel. So it's much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, you were going to send me a shirt for free, and I appreciate it, I do. But with me, I want to support guys like you, So I have no problem spending $10 or $20 on a shirt, man, to support your band. So,
well, it's much appreciated. It just goes right back into making more shit. So
yep.
yeah, that's how it goes. Just all support each other and support the channels and all that good shit.
Anything, Eddie? I know you have some endeavors in the works.
I do. Not that I want to talk about that yet. I'll talk about that later. But I did a lot of videos this weekend. I did one last night with George from Georgie's Room of Rock. We did our favorite records of 1985, which was fun. Cool. I did a video on the Big Four and Exodus, my favorite covers that they did a couple nights ago. That was pretty fun. And we got this one today. And then I think tomorrow I'm going to do another Q&A. I got a bunch of questions. So we'll do that. A lot of hockey questions for me. And all kinds of shit. So that'll be fun tomorrow. So we'll do that tomorrow.
I always like watching those Q&A videos, from you two or whoever. It's always interesting just to hear how the person is going to answer the questions. I always find that interesting, hearing their own personal stories, because with these channels, okay, let's do a video about Bathory. I don't want to hear somebody tell me what I already know. I'd rather hear their personal experiences with the band. That's the kind of shit that I'm interested in hearing.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Eddie and I think we're going to start I am probably going to do only one more Q&A. I I think it's getting kind of hard to answer a lot of questions and kind of personalize them all because a lot of questions are similar. So what I'm going to
Yeah.
try to start doing is like shorter episodes focusing on one particular topic, and maybe not put out as much or maybe, but I've talked to Eddie because I mentioned wanting to do a series of the Acheron days from beginning to end. And Eddie being the metal fucking historian of everything, he probably knows more about it fucking my band than me. So
Fucking Casey Kasem of metal, man.
so we're gonna try to start doing like some individual videos coming up. Nothing real soon, but that's gonna be something in the works. But something this show I'm going to try to do on a regular basis as much as I can, and keep putting out some different, videos. I'll keep watching you guys for sure. Guys always pop up on my fucking YouTube as soon as I turn on my TV. So
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, you guys are
Absolutely.
my two go-tos, my two favorite channels.
right
Yeah.
on. So okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this new show. If you dig it, leave a comment, man. Let us know what you think. If you have some responses from our responses, let us know. Until next time, keep true and stay brutal.